I love it. I love it. I love it. Look at this. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Hey, I'm not surprised.
Oh boy, this is a good fight. This is a very decent fight. Competitive on paper, and most likely a very competitive fight inside the octagon. We have Roosevelt, the Predator Roberts versus Matt Steamroller Frevola. And we're going to start with Roosevelt. So Roosevelt comes into this fight 4 wins, 2 losses inside the UFC. Primarily a striker. Roosevelt is a very tricky guy to figure out when it comes to kickboxing. He's very long for the 155 weight class, which makes it very hard to gauge whether or not you're in striking distance of Roosevelt. His grappling, in my opinion, is very decent, despite the losses to veterans Jim Miller and Vince Pichel, which both ultimately came via grappling. I still believe Roosevelt is a good grappler. That Spider-Man-like choke against Daryl Horcher, still one of my favourite submission wins to this day. Matt Frevola comes into this fight 2 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw inside the UFC. Primarily a wrestler, absolutely tough as nails is Matt Frevola. He will take your punches to get into distance, to level change into his takedowns. If you get up from the mat, that isn't going to stop him for searching for more takedowns. Matt is relentless with the pace he's looking to fight at. This is a very tough prediction to make. I have huge respect for both of these fighters. They're both decent in their own way. Roberts will be tricky to figure out in a kickboxing fight, whereas Frevola may just fatigue Roosevelt with constant takedowns. If you're not a lifelong wrestler, those exchanges of wrestling really take a toll on your cardio. I can definitely see both fighters having their moments, but I'm going to side with Roosevelt. He could use his jiu-jitsu off his back to submit Frevola. If he's not in a wrestling contest, I see him having more success with the striking. So for those reasons, I'm going to take Roosevelt Roberts via decision. And my odds would be Roosevelt minus 140, Matt Frevola plus 110. And the actual odds for this fight are Roosevelt minus 120, minus 115, Matt Frevola minus 110, minus 115. So yeah, these odds are perfect, right? Both of these guys are going to have their moments. Can Matt Frevola force Roberts into a wrestling contest? And if he does, he most likely fatigues Roberts. Now, can Roberts use his wrestling and jiu-jitsu effectively to be able to keep it standing? And if he does, I think he's going to have good success. Both of these fighters can win this fight. Who are you on? Let me know in the comments.